Michael, I've always been fascinated at the early jobs that actors have before they're actors. Now, you worked in a gas station in all places, Beverly Hills.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, tell me about some of the clientele, including Fred Astaire.
Well, I worked in a lot of gas stations before I ever came to California. That was just happened to be where I ended up when I first got here. But, geez, I got Warren Beatty come in there, Cicely Tyson, Don Knotts, Peter Falk, Jackie Bissett, Alexander Godunov, Jack Lemmon, Fred Astaire. Fred Astaire was my first customer on the first day that I was working there. He had a flat tire on his car, and he came in, he drove it in with the flat. And, you know, I'm from Chicago, I'm an auto mechanic, I come to California, and I try to be an actor, and, you know, there's Fred Astaire with a flat tire. I mean, it was pretty funny, you know, I couldn't believe it. I said, yeah, that's that guy, that guy, he danced in those old movies, you know, that's that guy. And he gets out of the car, you know, and I said, you know, you got a flat tire? He goes, yeah. I said, well, it's a $12.50, you know, take it off and put, you know, fix it. He says, okay, give me a $100 bill. And he walked away. And I went to, you know, to my boss. I said, geez, the guy gave me a $100 bill. He says, oh, he does it all the time. Put it in your pocket. So I figured I was doing all right, you know.
You know, I've always enjoyed seeing actors' earliest film roles. I interviewed John Spencer recently from LA Law, and he talked about war games. And the actor with them in the missile silo was yours truly.
Yeah, that was the first thing that I did. I didn't even have a place to stay when I came to California to do that. I think they gave me a room at the Sunset Marquis for like 2 days or something like that. And I slept in the park. I slept on the bench in the park down across from Doheny down there where the park is. I slept down there for about a week before I got a job, before I started pumping gas in the '76. But yeah, War Games, yeah. Marty Brest cast me in that actually, and then he quit the picture and John Badham took over. And my part was one of the only ones that they didn't recast. So I'm always indebted to Marty and Wally Nacita. They gave me that first thing.
I was watching Reservoir Dogs again the other night, and you know, great performance by you in that film. I'm just wondering, did you get a lot of curious looks from people after that film?
Yeah, I still do. I still do all the time. It's really funny. I can usually tell when I meet somebody whether or not they've seen that movie. It's a very funny thing. I know when I meet someone, even if I've never met them before in my life, I know if they've seen it because there's a certain look they have about them. And it's very, it's funny. I mean, I'm glad it's out there. I mean, I thought it was a good picture.
On the opposite end of the spectrum with the reactions, how have kids reacted to you after Free Willy came out?
Well, that's funny because I get the flip side, you know what I'm saying? I get, you know, little kids running over that. I'm Glenn Greenwood to them. And I have this whole other, this whole other audience, you know what I'm saying? It's very strange. I have 2 sons myself. And Free Willy is like one of the only pictures that my son's ever seen that I've done. So I appreciate the kids, you know, and I'm glad I did something that they like. And
you know, with the Species, you shot in a lot of like unusual LA neighborhoods. I'm just wondering, what kind of unusual spectators do you get at night watching a film company like that shooting in the middle of the night?
A lot. I mean, you know, Hollywood is known for its strange characters, you know, and they're everywhere, you know. Let's face it, and there'd be a lot of them down there. I mean, it's like Night of the Living Dead, you know, 4 o'clock in the morning on Hollywood Boulevard. Believe me, we were doing a sequence in the car one night, and there was a guy who was up through the sunroof of his car with a gun, and he was shooting. He was having like a gun battle with some cops on the corner as we went by with, you know, in the tow rig, you know, making a movie. It was insane. And we had these motorcycle cops with us, and when they saw this gun thing happening, they pulled off and left us and went over there to do this thing, left us right out in the middle of the street. We're all sitting there like a bunch of goofs, you know, in the back of this trailer in this car. And it was kind of like, well, that's real life over there. And all of a sudden, you know, we realized, how insignificant what we were doing was, you know.
And one final question. I
Yeah.
was just watching the scene again downstairs where you're in the glass booth and
Yeah.
trapped with the thing is growing in
That's the one they show you guys, huh?
Yeah. the one-
That's pretty grim. I think they had to pick something better to show you, don't you?
Well, when you're shooting that scene, it's very dramatic when all the effects in there. But when you're actually filming it,
Yeah.
I mean, what's happening out of camera range? It's a little surreal.
Well, actually, for me, it is very claustrophobic. Very, very claustrophobic for me, being in a scene like that, and some of the other scenes in the picture, in the cave, in the lab, in the elevators, in the building, in the sewer, in the basement. It was very, very claustrophobic, you know. It really is. I think it helps with your performance, because if you're supposed to not want to be in there and you actually don't want to be in there, there's not a lot of acting necessary. You know, it's more that it's actually happening.
But watching the creature flip around was just a little unusual in there.
Yeah, that was a little weird seeing that thing. After about the 14th or 15th take, you know, you're just so ready to kill it. You know what I mean?